here's a real shocker. Joe Biden affirms, I will eliminate your student debt. That's what he said. But in this picture, he's actually telling you to go fuck off. Because why? Because Joe Biden removed student loan forgiveness from budget proposal. There you go. For no reason. Except that Joe Biden is a right-winger. Joe Biden is not lefty. He's not a centrist. He's a extreme right-winger. What other elected head of a country in the Western world is against Medicare for all, universal basic income? Who's against Medicare for all? What other? Boris Johnson is not against that. Angela Merkel is not against that. What right wing? That's how radical Joe Biden is. This is radical. That's radical. Biden just dropped student debt cancellation down to 0. That's right. The Biden administration has decided to cancel 0 in student debt. Biden took student loan cancellation out of his budget because Congress won't pass it. That's what he said. But nothing is stopping him from signing an executive order to cancel student. He could do it himself.
Oh, come on, man.
That's what they're really saying. He really said that, Ron. That's the real reason because
they have made it's kind of comical seeing the excuses that they're making for him in the media. And every excuse is just a more flowery way of saying because he doesn't freaking want to. I mean, yeah, he has the authority to do an executive action. Even if the education department comes at him and says, oh, you need congressional approval. Well, guess what? Democrats have the House and the Senate. He doesn't want to do this. It's just abundantly clear. And, seeing everything in the press, I mean, I can honestly say, and I don't know why this is exactly, but I have never seen a president as coddled as Joe Biden in my lifetime.
Because most journalists in this country who work for establishment news media see themselves as a booster of the Democratic Party. That's why.
Yeah, but I would argue he is being more coddled than Obama was even.
Well, because that was before Trump.
More so than Obama, more so than...
Right, but what has happened since Obama was Trump. And so now you can't, and the cult has cracked down. And you cannot be seen being out of line. That's why they're coddling him even strong. Ron, did you see those fucking asswipes when he drove a truck?
Yeah.
He drove a truck and they were drooling over themselves.
Yeah, it was like they were cheering for a little kid in their Power Wheels. Yeah. And it's a grown man driving a truck.
Yeah, it was like a little kid learned how to color. Oh, that's good, Tommy. You're the best colorer in the world. That's what it sounded like. Go give it to your mommy. She'll put it up on the fridge. So that's why. It's because of Trump. And it's just like, why can't you question the CDC? Why can't you question science? Why can't you question anything? It's because of Trump. And there's a good team and a bad team. And that's cult-like thinking. And that's what the Democratic Party is. In response to the economic impact of COVID-19, this is Joe Biden on March 27th, 2020. He says in response to the economic impact of COVID-19, we need to provide immediate relief to those who are drowning in student debt. Every American should have a minimum of $10,000 in student debt. So that's what that was his baseline minimum. He won't even do that.
Yeah, he won't even do that.
He's not even doing that. It's almost as if Democrats and Republicans run on platitudes and empty promises they never intend to fulfill. It's almost like that. But we can push his platitudes left, can't we? So we have no student debt cancellation, no public option, and he's not going to lower prescription drug costs. I expected this, but I'm still angry. Every time I read about an elderly person going for their insulin, etc., crying at a pharmacy, I'm absolutely filled with rage. I'm not as angry at Joe Biden and the Democrats as I am to the shitheads who fucking support them. Almost every one of my fucking comedy friends in Hollywood. You forgot about the kids are still in cages. The deportations are continuing. The pipes in Flint still messed up. Pot still illegal federally. And no restoration of voting rights. Next time, let's all collectively agree to withhold our vote unless concessions are made, okay? Because here's Ilhan Omar. Yes, we can with a slim Democratic majority in the next Congress. Anything can be possible. It will literally take 5 courageous progressive members to get concessions.
They don't exist.
And she's not one of them. Isn't that amazing that she tweeted that? Is that to me, that's just like... Are you psychopath that you just want to fucking piss so hard in people's faces as you don't do anything, as you don't lift a finger to help people, you want to also piss right in their face? Is that what that is? What is that?
What's the Ministry of Appeasement? And they're all part of it. I mean, they all, they just tweet and they just offer these. Oh, what would insert policy that I'm not actually going to fight for here do for you and your family? You know what it's going to do for me and my family. It's going to make our frickin' lives better. What are you doing to make it happen? Every tweet they publish should just be ratioed with comments underneath going, yeah, it'd be great, and question mark. That's it. Don't like it. Don't retweet it. Just say, yeah, and what are you doing? Yeah, we all know what $2,000 a month during a pandemic would do for people who are out of work through no fault of their own. It would frickin' help their lives. You don't need to ask that question. What you needed to do was actually push for a recurring UBI, which nobody did in a pandemic.
We'll repeat, student debt cancellation can be done by executive action. We do not need nor do we want Congress to attempt to pass legislation. It would likely fail or not be enough. Biden cancel all of this debt with the flick of a pen. Biden on Thursday said the idea that you go to Penn, that's the University of Pennsylvania, and you're paying a total of $70,000 a year, and the public should pay for that, I don't agree. So what Joe Biden is doing there is using a right-wing talking point to advance a right-wing idea that we shouldn't give student debt cancellation to people or that we should pay for public colleges. It is disingenuous argument that, and by the way, that argument is disingenuous and it usurps class politics. This policy, the policy of canceling student debt, it could help 80% of the middle class and poor people, but I don't want to do it because it might help 1% of the rich people. That's a terrible argument that prioritizes barely hurting the rich over helping all of the poor. Biden's family has long affiliation with Penn. His late son, Beau, daughter Ashley, and granddaughter Naomi are all Penn graduates. His wife, Jill Biden, a lifelong educator, is also connected to Penn. Only rich kids should get education my kids got. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, that's really what that talking point is.
That's what that talking point is. Only rich kids should be able to get the same education that my kids got. Biden-concerned ambitious agenda could be stalled by him not really caring if it happens or not.
Yeah, imagine if the actual news media held Biden as accountable as The Onion does.
I know.
What a world we'd live in.
Joe Biden hasn't forgiven a cent of my student loans, and he's emailing me for cash. Nice try, buddy. I know, right? Goddamn, we need a revolution in this country. Yeah, unfortunately, the guy who was saying that didn't mean it even a little bit. Bernie Sanders was just bullshitting and taking all your progressive energy and funneling it right back into a pro-war, pro-Wall Street, anti-worker party. Thanks, Bernie. But since he's become chairman of the budget committee, he's used his power and leverage there to do absolutely nothing for you. There's that. None of the YouTubers have ever corrected their story that Bernie got you that fucking unemployment in the COVID relief bill. He didn't. Nobody has ever. He did nothing for you. He'll never put a fucking hold on the bill. He'll never help you. You are not being helped by Bernie Sanders, the Squad, AOC, Rashid Tlaib. No one is fucked. They're not helping you. So you either start a third party and overthrow these motherfuckers, or you get in the street, or how about do both? How about you do both? But Americans just for some reason aren't going to get in the street. And I think it's because the bastards own the news media and they've got them convinced. It's like Soma. No, Joe Biden's a good guy. He just gave you $1,400. Joe Biden's a good guy. No, look, AOC, and they're all trying. Everybody's trying. They're not trying at all. Go ahead, Ron.
Well, it's that, and it's also just the systemic issues that it's very hard. I mean, people are working 2 and 3 jobs just to survive. They're about to go under, and in other countries where healthcare is not tied to employment and things like that, they're able to get out there and strike. And they strike, and then they get some of what they want. And when things get not so great again, they strike again. And they do that, and they do that, and they do that. And, you know, they're not perfect. No society is, but they have a much higher quality of life than we do. All these things are connected, folks.
And Joe Biden's going to make sure you don't get health care so you can't strike, so you can't go out and protest, so you can't risk losing your job. That's what Joe Biden's doing. Joe Biden is your enemy, just like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, and Joe Manchin are your enemy. They are your enemy. Just like the news media is your enemy, The Intercept, the Young Turks, MSNBC, CNN, the New York Times, the Washington Post, they're your enemy. They're there to misinform you about the most important things. 16 negative stories about Bernie in 16 hours. I wonder how that happened. And the richest guy who owns the paper is the richest guy in the world. I wonder how that happened. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.